Hi, welcome to Powers of 10. This is lesson 1.4 in your Go Math book. Let's take a look at our scale. The students will understand powers of 10 written as exponents in expressions. That means that our goal is to solve problems containing powers of 10 written as exponents. Now, this is still a part of our huge unit scale where we are learning about parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Right now, we are focused on exponents. That's what makes this lesson extremely important. Layla and Kelly decided that the virtual field trip to the Great Pyramid of Giza really wasn't exciting enough, so they used their superpowers to fly there. Before they left, Miss Addison told them to be careful because the pyramid is about 64 times the second power of 10 miles away from Cornerstone Charter Academy. Layla and Kelly had no idea what Miss Addison meant. The question is about how many miles away from CCA is the Great Pyramid? In order to answer this question, we have to understand exponents. Exponents can be written in exponent form and word form. In word form, this exponent or number with an exponent is pronounced or said the second power of 10. 10 is known as the base. The base is the repeated factor. The reason we say repeated factor is here because the 2, which is the exponent, tells us how many times the base is used. Since we see a 2 next to the 10 and it's written in superscript form, it means that we are looking at an expression 10 times 10. We're looking at the expression 10 times 10 because we have a base of 10 with an exponent 2. That also means that we can solve this expression 10 times 10 and we get the product 100. You'll notice a pattern here. There are 2 zeros in the expression 10 times 10, and there are also 2 zeros in the product. That is true all the way through the pattern for the powers of 10. 1 times 1 is the 0 power of 10. Oh, goodness. Or the number 1. And how is that written in words? It's written the 0 power of 10. Why is it just 1? Because there are 0 zeros. The first power of 10 has 1 0 and the product is 10. We've already done the second power of 10, but there are 2 zeros, and so the product is the digit 1 with 2 zeros, that is 100. The third power of 10 is the digit 1 with 3 zeros. That means the third power of 10 is 1,000. And it can keep going and going and going. I hope that helps you understand. So let's go back to our problem. Now we can solve. 64 times the second power of 10 is 64 times 100. 64 times 100 is a pattern. We can use the digits 6 and 4 because it's almost like looking at 64 times 1, which would be 64. And then we can place 2 zeros at the end of the digits 6 and 4. Then, as I showed you before, we count back ones, tens, hundreds, And we know that there's a comma between the hundreds and the thousands place. That means that 64 times 10 to the second power equals 6,400. So CCA is 6,400 miles away from the Great Pyramid because 64 times 10 to the second power is 6,400. Let's try a few of these together. Right now, you should probably pause the video and try them on your own if you're feeling confident, and then unpause the video to see if you got them right. I hope this is what you got. 43 times the 0 power of 10 is 43. 43 times the first power of 10 is 430. And you'll see the pattern here. See all those digits that contain zeros? They match the exponents. What is our pattern? We are multiplying by 10. I'll choose this one and you'll see. 43 times 10 times 10 times 10. Instead of writing that, the author simply put 43 times the third power of 10. Now it's your turn. Pause the video and see if you can figure out what dear old Grandpa Bob has done wrong. Okay, I sure hope you caught all of Grandpa Bob's mistake. First of all, you see here, 10 to the 0 power or the 0 power of 10 does not mean that we're multiplying by 0. It actually means we're multiplying by the number 1. Grandpa Bob got this one correct and this one correct. But then we run into a problem right here. Grandpa Bob says that 16 times 3 powers of 10. Well, what are the 3 powers of 10, or 3 of what powers? He says it incorrectly. It actually has to be 16 times the third power. We would get rid of the S. 16 times the third power of 10. We don't want to say 16 times 3 powers of 10 because then our question will be, what are the 3 powers? We don't know because it's not said. Grandpa Bob did a great job on this one because he understood 16 times the fourth power of 10 indicates this expression right here. Then he makes the common mistake with the zeros on the next one. 16 times the fifth power of 10 means there should be 5 zeros, and he only has 4 here. So he actually should have written 16 times 100,000. And what is 16 times 100,000? It is 1,600,000. And finally, he also makes another common mistake. He says that the pattern is add a 0 to each number. Well, Grandpa Bob, we've got to use math language. And when we add a 0 to each number, it's not going to give us what we want. Watch. 16 plus 0 is 16. You did say add a 0, right? 16 times 10 to the third power is not 16, just add a 0, because then we get 16 again. We've got to use the proper language. So what we will say is place a 0 to each number, or what he really means is place a 0 at the end of each number. And actually, we're not just adding 1, we're adding however many we need to. Let's look at our scale for when you're at home today. If your practice problem, which was the you-do, was wrong and you have no idea why, you need to let your teacher know you're 1 on the scale tomorrow. If you got your practice problem wrong and you know exactly what you did wrong and you could even explain it to someone else, you're a level 2. If your practice problems were correct and you were able to provide written proof, like showing your work, maybe your paper looks something like this, then you're a level 3. And if you felt like you were able to write your own problem for everyone else to see, then you are a level 4. And your teacher would love to see your problem tomorrow. So, have a great evening. I hope you understood. Please remember to rewind the video at any time, and you can rewatch these at any time to help yourself. Keep your math practices in practice.